Linux installation. In above chapter we learn Linux installation with automatic and default partition. You also install the Linux with customized partition. You manually create the partition when you install the Linux. First of all, we boot from the CD. Insert the Linux RHL 5.0 DVD in DVD-ROM and boot with the DVD. Now we run the DVD. First of all, we can see on screen first installation screen. Here basically Linux installed with two types, graphical mode and text mode. Just press enter for install the Linux in graphical mode. First of all, load the vmli nuz kernel and intrd.img image in Linux. Now the Linux system check the kernel and hardware. You can see next screen media check. Here press skip for skip the media checking, and then open the Anaconda installer. This Anaconda installer detect the graphics card and X server windows. Now appear the Linux welcome wizard. Just click next button. Just click the next button for continue. Here you can see the language selection windows and select the English and press next for continue. Then you can see the keyboard selection window. Just select the US English and press the next. Just see on screen. Press next for continue. This is a step-by-step operation. Now open the installer number windows. Here just keep the entering installer number. Click on skip entering installation number options and press OK. Press yes for continue. Then start the process searching for Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server installation. The process will take the 5 minutes. Okay, now display the Linux partition windows. Here we want to create the partition with customized setting. So just click on combo box and select the create custom layout for customized partition. Then press next for continue. Press next, and now we can see the partition windows. Here only one partition you can see on screen. Total 8 GB space in our hard disk. First of all, here we create 3 partitions: boot, root and swap. Mainly Linux has only one partition, root. Boot and swap is a supportable partition for Linux installation. First of all, we create boot partition. Always boot partition has required 500 MB space. For create the boot partition, just select the free space. Select the free space and click on new button for create the new partition. Here add partition window display. Click on mount point and just select the boot partition. First of all, we always create the boot partition. The file system type is extended 3. It is by default, and boot partition size always 500 MB. Press OK button. Now you can see in list the boot partition it created. Now select free space, then press new button. Now create a swap partition. Swap is not a partition, swap is a file system type. So click on file system type and select the swap. The size of the swap is double of RAM. Suppose in our system has 256 MB RAM. So the swap file system size is 512 MB. Press OK for continue. Now select the free space. We have 7 GB space. Click new for create new partition. Click on mount point and select the root partition. Click on mount point. Here you can see user, TMP, variable, all other partition, but we select just root partition, and size has 7000 MB, means 7 GB. Press OK. Now you can see on list box there are 3 partition: root, boot and swap. And home, variable, opt, these list of partition are created in root directory. Press next button for continue. Now install the bootloader. You know, basically there are 2 type of bootloader, grub and lilo. By default in Linux we install grub bootloader. Grub stands for Grand Unified Bootloader. Grub is responsible for starting the Linux. Here you can see on screen by default Linux server installed in SDA drive. You also set the grub password. Just click on use a bootloader password tick mark. Just select use a bootloader password checkbox and set the password. Press OK. This is the bootloader password. Press next button for continue. When you start the Linux, the first screen is a bootloader. Using bootloader you can change the run level. Press next for continue. Now you can see the network setting windows. Here you can just set the DHCP and IP if you have. If you want to assign the IP address, just click on edit button. Now open the edit interface window